Hi everyone, thank you so much for tuning in with me today. If you are new to this channel, hi, I'm Jonathan Deputy, and I garden here in Middle Georgia Zone 8B. Now, I missed uploading last week because I simply did not have the time or the opportunity to sit down and shoot a video, but I unexpectedly have a free morning, so I'm going to take you all out here and we are going to take a quick garden tour. So we're gonna start off by walking in the entrance of this, but look how pretty this arbor is becoming, you guys. It's a little wilty because it's hot out here, but this is a heavenly blue morning glory, and it is just huge on this side. I planted it on both sides, and some of the seedlings died at the bottom of the backside there, but this one just grew up beautifully at exactly what I wanted it to do. I'm gonna train some of these longer ones that are coming down and try and kind of get them to go across the very top there, kind of what I got going on there, but it just looks so pretty, and I can't wait till it's all covered in its big blue blossoms. It'll be so beautiful. So over here at the front entrance of the garden, we have some cucumbers that need to be pulled out. There's just a couple of hanger-ons. And then we have the jalapenos in here. And this bed needs to be edged and weeded out. And you're gonna see a lot of that today. The garden has been crazy busy growing, and I have not had the time to come out here and do as much weeding and edging and all of that kind of stuff as I wanted to maintenance-wise. So there's a lot of weeds in here, but that's okay. This beautiful old-fashioned vining petunia probably needs to be trimmed back a little, as does this one over here. We have a Lone Star pepper over here. I don't know the variety. I think it's probably a poblano pepper, but it's looking a little bit like a bell pepper, so I'm not really sure what it was. I did start it from seed. I don't remember what it was. It was the only one I started from seed that survived, but it's a good, 3 feet tall, so that's wonderful. So behind me we have the strawberry beds, which they've been weeded like 3 times this year, and they've just exploded. So I don't really know what the deal is with those. I just can't seem to keep up with the weeds inside there. And so at this point, I'm not even gonna worry about it because they're not really producing anything at this point, and there's a lot of other stuff that needs my attention. But this here was our carrot row, and we've harvested up all of our carrots. And so what I did is I came in here and I planted some Connecticut Fields pumpkins just right here. We have some Gurney's Gumbo okra here in the center. I just came and pulled out all the extra plants that looked unnecessary. And then on the other side here, we have planted some more butternut squashes. And so my idea with this is that we'll have some tall okra kind of grow up, and then we'll have some sprawling vines around the base of it, and that should utilize this space pretty well. So right next door to it, we have our sweet potatoes, which actually look really, really good. The weeds, once again, they do look pretty bad, but they look pretty well. The vines are growing really nice. It's real soft in here and loamy. It's holding moisture well. So I have high hopes for these sweet potatoes. This is the most sweet potatoes we've ever planted, but that is looking really good. I'm happy with it. Just a lot of weeds. Now on the other side of those sweet potatoes, we have some ginger plants right here, and they're just kind of doing their thing, just kind of growing. That's kind of an experiment. I need to pull these weeds out once again. But then we have our potatoes, and I don't really know how these are gonna do. We got them in super late. You can see that some of them down here have completely died, and I need to come in here and pull potatoes out. They just never really produced a lot, I don't think, because when I dig my hand around in there, there's not really anything in there. And that's because we got our potatoes in super, super late. We've never planted them before. It was kind of a lot of, like, we never planted them before. They came super, super late. So I got them planted, and then the heat came in really quick, so they didn't really have time to get established before the heat. And so I don't really know how many potatoes are really gonna end up being in here. I mean, there's a little fingerling potato right there, just kind of sitting in there. So I really need to come in here and just kind of dig through, empty them out, and see what's going on with these potatoes, because I'm just kind of like, I don't really know what that's going to end up looking like. I probably should take that in, but I don't really know what these are going to end up looking like underneath, because once again, like I said, we got them in super, super late. There is a potato poking up right here. These look like red potatoes, red Lesotas. So I don't know, maybe there's more potatoes than I think there are, but we shall see. We shall see. I need to dig those up. They're ready to be dug up. But something we do have are these lovely, and these need to be pulled. These are sweet banana peppers, and I've never grown them before. We never got our sweet bell peppers planted in the ground. It just never happened. But we do have some of these banana peppers, and they actually look really good. And these are sweet banana peppers. These are not spicy banana peppers. So those can just be eaten like a regular sweet pepper. It tastes like a sweet pepper. It's not like, I don't know, I was kind of nervous. I was like, are these, I hope these are sweet. And they are. They're sweet, so pretty good. So here are, these are the rest of the tomatoes. So we have a lot of grape tomatoes planted in here. They just look so beautiful. Just looking like that. I don't know the specific variety of this. It's just a grape tomato. We have these gorgeous Mr. Stripey tomatoes growing here. This one went bad on the plant on the backside there. See that little bug crawling out? And so once again, that'll be food for the chickens. I'll come back and pull that so I don't kill the plant. Beans planted. These ones really suffered and kind of died, but we pulled a lot off on the other side. This looks like this is a black cherry tomato. I didn't know that these were black cherry tomato plants. They just kind of happened, and I'm like, okay, fair enough. Fair game, they can have the space. We have some Romas in here, more grape tomatoes. We have these Oregon spring tomatoes right here. And those are a determinate variety, and they just have a great shape. I love the shape of these Oregon spring tomatoes. So I definitely want to grow these again because of how beautiful the shape of these tomatoes are. They're just like what you kind of think of like a tomato being. They're a little smaller than that, but that's okay. They look beautiful, and I just love the uniform shape of these. So this is where she becomes a hot mess. So we have tomatoes in here. So we have green beans, we have Blue Lakes on this side, we have Early Contender on this side. We've pulled quite a few green beans. These are mortgage lifter tomatoes that need to be lifted. I don't know, they look pretty rough, you guys. And we have some Early Girl tomatoes. This right here is an Early Girl tomato that's still edible. We have, I think that's all that's on this row are the mortgage lifter and the Early Girls. So these here are, what are these called? These are cosmos, and they are covered in seeds. So basically what I want to do is I want to come out here and I want to harvest a bunch of these cosmos seeds. And so those can just be put into a brown paper envelope or something and planted for next year to produce these gorgeous plants with these beautiful, beautiful flowers like here. And they just come up if you sprinkle them. You can see where the wind blew these. These are all orange cosmos where the wind just blew the seeds. And so that's what is going on here. But I'm very happy with these. I want to plant way more of these next year all over the place because of how well they did. We have some Romas over here. Looks like there's some more Early Girl tomatoes kind of sitting in here, poking through. That one looks like it might be bad. So we also have a Jubilee tomato. Those are supposed to be yellow, and a Dr. Witchy's lost somewhere in here. And then our Black Beauty tomatoes, just swallowed by a jungle of weeds, you guys. But we did pull and eat a Black Beauty tomato, and it was beautiful, you guys. They get like a dark auburny red, like the shoulder is black, but then this part's like a deep burgundy red, and it's just beautiful. So this is where the onions were pulled out, and I did that a couple weeks ago, and my plan was to plant it right away, but I never got around to it. And currently, at the very moment, our watering system is out of commission. It needs to be repaired, and we're going to do that this Friday. But this here, this here needs a little TLC. So my plan is to come in here with sunflowers down the center, and then just like I did down there on the other side of the garden with the okra, I want to plant sunflowers down the center and then some sort of vining crop on either side. I'm thinking maybe some like honeydews, something along those lines. And then over here, we have some black creme tomatoes, which are my favorite just because they were the first tomato that ever did well for me. That's what they look like. I love them. They can stay pretty small, but they can also get pretty big too. And I'm just in love with this variety. I love it so much. Down here on the end, we have some Cherokee purples. loads of zinnias. These zinnias, I didn't plant any of these. These all just came up like wildfire. They look wonderful. And honestly, I love looking at them. I think they're just so pretty. So this area behind me here just got tackled yesterday. I basically came out here and I harvested most all the winter squash. So we pulled our large pumpkin. I didn't end up filming that. The reason I went ahead and pulled it is because actually what ended up happening is it went soft. And from what I understand when I was researching was that basically when you have a lot of rain and uncontrolled rain is essentially what happened, and just super high moisture content, it will cause your pumpkins to go a little bit soft. So I pulled that immediately. We went ahead and my sisters processed it yesterday. So it was a 5-pound pumpkin. So we got 5 pounds of pureed, well, must have been a little more than 5 pounds because we ended up with 5 pounds of pureed pumpkin in the freezer. So that is wonderful. I was very happy about that. And I just pulled all of our butternut squashes. There's a couple odds and ends left out here. We do have this little pumpkin growing right here. Got lots and lots, probably like 20 butternut squashes, a pumpkin. We have this little one forming here. I'm gonna come in here and pull all these vines out. I'm gonna weed this whole area, and then I wanna replant it right away with something. So once we get our water fixed, I'm gonna clear this area and get it planted with something. And we're really at the point in the season where we can do a lot still. Like I can still come in here and we have enough days. I can plant some more winter squashes. I can still plant some watermelons. Things that would take longer than usual, I can still go ahead and plant those. So I might come out here and plant some things like that. Not 100% sure yet, but I do want to just keep planting the spaces that we have. Once again, we've been very busy and I haven't had the opportunity to do all the things that I wanted to do, but I still got a lot done and I'm pretty happy about that. So believe it or not, this fence line here has probably been one of my more favorite spots this year. We have this lovely dill that I just let go to seed because we never ended up really cooking with it. I kind of grow it because I think, oh, we'll have really good pickling cucumbers again, and I haven't been able to get them to come in super well like I did one year. So I just let them go to seed, and they're so pretty. So maybe we'll collect dill seed, but they're just, I love them out here. Beautiful, beautiful zinnias. I love these blooms on this one. This one's like very full. Like this bloom here is gorgeous. It just reminds me more of like that of a California giant or something, just like that very open bloom. But I love a good full bloom. I really love a full bloom like this. It's giving me, it makes me think of dahlias, and I just love that. We have some cherry tomatoes here that look really rough. I don't know what happened. They just got sick overnight. But this is the Cherry Super Sweet 100 hybrid. We've pulled tons and tons of cherries off of this. This here is a Bumblebee Pink cherry from Baker Creek. Really liked this one. We have another zinnia here. Then we have these gorgeous, I just love these tomatoes. These have been my favorite cherry tomato this year, and that has been the black cherry tomatoes. And they say they're prone to cracking, but I haven't had the single first issue with cracking in any of these tomatoes. So very, very happy with those. Highly recommend. I'll leave a link to these black cherries down below because I just love them and adore them and highly recommend them. We have these beautiful basil plants. I need to come out here and pinch them and make some pesto. Sad calendula, didn't work out. Marigold, lovely, what are these called? Morning glories. But y'all, the last thing is check out these eggplants. Look how wonderful these eggplants are. And I don't know when to harvest these, to be honest. So if you know when, let me know, because look how pretty those are. I don't want to lose any of them. But aren't they just gorgeous? I would say this is like the weirdest, like this is probably one of my most successful things this year that was like kind of random. Like, I don't know. I've never grown them before. I didn't know what they would look like. I didn't know how they would grow, and they've just done wonderful. So I'm really happy with these just beautiful eggplants. And the very last part of the garden that I will show you guys, where the weeds are waist high, my word, is the corn, beans, and tomatoes, or watermelons. So I planted a lot less black-eyed peas than I normally do. They didn't do super well. I had to come in and replant again. And then over here, the black beans they didn't do well. I haven't been out here weeding at all. You can tell, and they're very soft weeds actually. They're very deep, but they're very soft. And then our corn, this is just Silver Queen. It looks pretty good. I mean, I'm not unhappy with it at all. It's just now starting to kind of give off this little tassel. It's at the top. So it looks pretty good. This part here looks a little bit more yellowed. Not sure what that is about, but it's interesting how it kind of grows differently, kind of across the board. So I think that's fascinating. But then over here, we have our watermelons, just kind of grown wild. Haven't found a watermelon yet. That's okay. But they're just kind of in the weeds in here. So it'll be actually really fun to try and find a watermelon out here. There's somebody on a road we drive by regularly who has a lot of watermelons. And we drive by that road all the time where they have watermelons planted. They have a strip in their front yard that they just do with watermelons every year. And they've done it pretty consistently, and they always plant Charleston Grays, and I can tell because I see them poking up off the ground because it's just ever so slightly raised, ever so slightly, and you could just see those big old Charleston Grays sitting up there, and I'm just like, oh, I love that. I love seeing that. It's one of my favorite things to see. So that is the garden in all of its glory, weeds and all. It's definitely been a more stressful year, I think, for everybody. It's just been a little bit more of a stressful year in the garden, in life in general. And although it's not exactly where I would ideally love to have it, it's okay. And it's important to remember that you can't control nature, you can't always control the future and how things are going to pan out. And sometimes your garden just gets really overrun by weeds, and it's okay. And something that I always remember is that it's not a failure when your garden becomes overrun with weeds, because it happens to everybody at some point in time. You're not the only one. And the other thing is that the fact that you're making the effort to grow a garden is pretty awesome. And so if you're at that point in the season where your garden is overrun with weeds and you're just feeling like, it's overrun with weeds and I just can't seem to keep up with it, we all have weeds in our garden, and it happens to everybody. The fact that you are making the effort to grow a garden in and of itself is a huge thing to take on. And so you should give yourself a pat on the back for just making the effort to plant a garden, even if there's weeds, because even in the weeds, there's harvest for you. I pulled like 20 butternut squashes out last night. So, the garden can still produce and still grow in amongst the weeds. So it's always going to be part of it. It's always going to be something that goes hand in hand with gardening. It's not really a garden if it doesn't have weeds. Thank you so much for tuning in to me today. I really, really do appreciate it. If you liked this video, please let me know down below by giving it a big thumbs up. If you want to stick around, you can click that big red subscribe button. And if you never want to miss a brand new upload, all you gotta do is click that bell icon. Feel free to comment down below. I absolutely love hearing from you all. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you all very soon. Bye-bye.